You are so welcome to this slow class. It's going to be a short class. It's going to be a somewhat easy class. So maybe you don't even need to take on your yoga pants. Maybe just unroll your mat in the middle of the living room, pop in some earplugs and join me. It's going to be amazing. So take a seat on the mat with those sitting bones firmly grounded. You might shake a little bit to get that grounding sensation in your buttocks. And then tall spine, close your eyes. And maybe take a deep inhale and sigh out. Whatever is in your mind right now, it is not of great importance. You can take it up after this short yoga class. For now, it's time to be with you. Time to be with love, or God as I call him. And maybe you take your hands in front of your chest, palms together in prayer pose, and bow your head. And this is a kind of a humble posture. So if there's anything you want to surrender or let go of, you can do this in this posture. I believe that love, or God, knows anything and everything. But sometimes we need to put words on it and let it go. If you're not completely done yet, you might just do an all-inclusive prayer and then take your arms out to the side, open up your chest. You might even look up. Open up your vulnerable sides here, the chest, where the heart is, your lungs. Inhale love. Inhale grace. Inhale God's acceptance in your life. And then you might take your right hand on the right side of the mat. Lean to your right side for a big stretch on your left side body. Then lift up, warming up our spine, going to the other side. Soften your arms and soften the movement from side to side. And slow down if you're way faster than I am. Slow. Yoga is slow. Now we're doing it dynamically to warm up the spine, but we're going to take time in each posture. So there won't be a lot of postures. And then either continue side to side or do some free seated movements for your spine. I have 2 Bible verses for you today about reaping or sowing. So as you move, You might just listen into Matthew 7, verse 12. Whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets. I'll read it one more time. Whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them. For this is the law and the prophets. And make your way into downward facing dog, spreading out your fingers, lifting up your hip and paddle your feet, your legs. And if you feel like it, you can move to plank and back to down dog. And now your plank can either be on toes or on knees, depending on your condition today. So we want to create some heat in the body. Because what we sow right now in the body is preparing the body for the postures that we're going to go through, warming up the muscles, ligaments, and tendon and everything. Pretty essential for helping ourselves not get injured or harm ourselves. Now step your feet to the top end of the mat and fold forward. And widen the distance in between your feet. Hang here, bending your knees as much as you need so you don't put too much strain on your lower back. So what you sow is also what you reap. This is not rocket science, but it's hard to live with that knowledge. Now round yourself up into mountain pose. Palms together at the top of your head. You can soften your arms, your shoulders a little bit. Standing tall. And then put a little bit of weight onto your left foot so that you can lift up to balance. Now every posture here with your knee down or your foot down is perfect. Standing here, trying to breathe. With your legs still lifted, take your hands down in prayer pose and take a few more breaths with your palms firmly together. So you might push your palms into each other. Activate the shoulders a little bit more. And then lower down your right leg, step it back to the back end of the mat. You can come down on your knee. Now, if you want extra padding, you can take a blanket or just fold your mat. I have a carpet under myself here, so I'm good. Move your hip to the front and still palms together. Tall spine so we don't arch the back too much. And then gently twist to your left side. So you might be hovering over your knee here, especially if you're pregnant. Now you can also come a little bit further down, maybe hook this elbow on the outer edge of your thigh. And keep breathing deeply. Now think about planting seeds. Now it's obvious that if you want to plant a palm tree and you put the seeds of a palm tree down, you will not get olive tree or maple tree or something like that, you get a palm tree. But the strange thing is that sometimes we forget that in life. We think that if we just let go of the bitterness or the anger, then beautiful things will blossom up. But what we sow is also what we reap sometimes. Now let go of that twist. Move back, stretching that front leg. And now if your back knee is not good with staying down there, you can always tuck the toes under and do this wide-legged pyramid pose. Use blocks to take the floor closer to you if the floor is far away from your hands. If you're on your knees doing this one, lift the knee off, bend the front leg, turn the back foot around, align it with the short end of the mat, and then find your warrior two. Please remember that you can always shorten the distance here if you feel like it's better for your body today. So what kind of seeds are you planting in your own life? Are you planting seeds of health, of grace towards yourself as God is graceful to you? Or are you planting things that are hard? Lots of condemnation, lots of judgment towards your own thoughts and minds, your actions, always thinking about the bad things you do. What seeds are you planting in your own life? Now extend the front leg, and you can stay with that thought, just change the posture. Take your hands behind your head, make sure that your elbows are really squeezed out to the side as wide from each other as they can, and then lean back, engage your core. Trying to let your spine and your shoulders be aligned with the heels. Notice that you can microbend your knees a little bit. And then lift up. Windmill your arms around, bend the front knee to make that happen so you can reach down the floor. Stiff this front foot to the back and then take a deep breath. So maybe you need to sow seeds of grace and gratitude in your life. In down dog, you can either stay here, maybe you want to bend your knees. The most important thing is that your spine is tall, so you don't round your back. If you take a look at the screen, my spine is not straight now. I want to try to tuck the pelvis a little bit back and under, like I'm having a tail I can wave with. Drawing the shoulder blades and the shoulder girdle away from the ears down towards the back of the spine. And then slowly walk your feet to the top end of the mat again. And you can shake your wrists if you like. Use your neck, your head to soften. And then round up if you're ready into mountain pose. And let's stay in mountain pose for a few breaths. What seeds are you sowing in other people's lives? And if you tend to go to the negative things automatically, then think about all the positive things that you also do. I know you do positive things. So, what positive things are you sowing? And if there are a lot of negative, maybe ask love, ask God for help. Just because we plant a lot of things, it doesn't mean that we have to water them to keep the negative growing. We all have our flaws, we all have our mistakes. Now put your weight onto your right leg and lift up your left and take your palms to the top of your head. Now, again, if this is too hard, if it's hard to keep the balance, you can always take your arms out. So especially in balance poses, reap some or sow some graceful thoughts. And remember to breathe. And slowly take your hands down in prayer pose. Again, we want to push the palms together firmly and take the arms, the lower part of the arm, to align it with the floor. So we're not keeping our arms up here or down here. And then see if you can step your left leg to the back of the mat, lower down the knee. Of course, you can take your hands down to do that. Maybe a little more easy. Again, when you're ready, palms together, move your hip to the front so you feel a stretch in your hip flexor and your hamstrings. And then twist towards your right side this time. Again, hovering if that's better for your body. While leaning further, letting left arm reach the outer edge of that thigh or knee. Let go of the twist. As we did before, you can stay with the knee down. Again, blocks is amazing here, books or water bottles, whatever you have, and fold forward. Now my knee really want to get off the floor now, so I take the knee off and do this one instead. Let your tummy come towards the thigh, and then your chest, and then maybe the head. One more big breath. And then bend the front leg, lift the back knee off if you're with your knee down. Pivot the back foot around to a warrior two posture, other way around than before. Arms out, aligned with the floor, and again, soften your shoulders. We don't want to plant seeds of tension in our shoulders by elevating them too high, too long, too much. See if you can lower down more in the front knee if you're up for it. Thinking some graceful thoughts, grateful thoughts maybe. Also, if you might start to shake and feel tired in your thigh, in your arms. Now stretch the front leg. And again, you might shorten the distance for this one. Hands behind your head, elbows out, so as you get a bit of a stretch in the muscles here in the front of the chest and the shoulders. And then leaning back. Now draw this top elbow up towards the sky so you feel like you're opening up your chest without leaning back. Engage your pelvis, your root lock, pelvic floor. One more breath. And make your way around. Taking the back heel off. Step back. Downward facing dog. You might shake your legs a little bit. And then come down on your knees when you're ready into child's pose. So get some distance in between your knees so there's space for a belly and chest and everything. Forehead on the mat if you can reach. And you might want to choose to let your palms face up. And maybe make a choice today. Is there some seeds that you know you want to plant, that you know that you can plant? But due to maybe busyness or whatever, you haven't planted those seeds for a long time. So maybe today you need to plant those seeds. Do some small actions of love or self-care towards yourself or others. So meditate on that for just a bit. Slowly come out of this posture, maybe on your knees. If that's not really great, you can always come up on your feet. Just gonna do a small back bend. Grab your lower back, your lumbar spine. Move your hip to the front and then open up your chest. Such a beautiful posture. Also to receive some grace in. And the cool thing is that even though we might sometimes plant seeds of bitterness, envy, whatever, God's grace through Jesus Christ will cover that. And then sit down, just maybe in hero pose, or if your knees are not that great with that. Mine are not, but I know a lot of people just sitting down on their heels there. You might want to do that. Now I'm going to finish this class seated. So close your eyes and soften your body. And I'll finish with a prayer that you can listen in or pray with me or something in between that. Love, God, help us to plant seeds that are good in our own lives, but also in the lives of others, in our families, in our friends' lives. But also in the world around us. And God, may you forgive us when we plant seeds that are not of you, that are not of love. Thank you that you can restore, that you can heal, that you can bring into life also what we can't. In God's name, amen. You are so welcome to rest on the mat and stretch a little bit more. I wanted to keep this video somewhat short, so that's what I didn't do a lot of today. But thank you so much for joining, and God's blessings on your path, and may you sow awesome seeds today.